Okay, excellent. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and post it. Post it here. Trouble viewing it through Google Meet here, and then I'm going to post in the classroom as well for reference later on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, awesome. So I'll share my screen here. Cool. All right, and so let me know if it gets choppy or anything. I'll try to refresh it or whatnot. Okay, so what we did last class is we got our shapes here. We tuned up the composition bounds, so it's nice and tight on the shape. And we're supposed to have at least 5 different shapes. Now I believe there's about 6. Just the S block and then the Z block, which is basically the same block. So it's not necessary to have both of them on there, but it's nice. It's part of the game. It adds to it. So what I'm going to do is come up with my my master screen. All right. So if I remember correctly, I believe the width of my blocks are about, is it 330? Let's see, so 3 blocks, 311. So about 100, 103 per block. 100 and some change. I think I added a pixel for each block. Let's see. So 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pixels. 8, that gives us, so yeah, about 101 per block. And added 1 pixel for, or 2 pixels for the gap. So with that information, I'm going to create a new composition. This will be my master screen, Tetris screen, Game Boy screen, however you want to put it. Make sure I'm following naming convention, right? Last name, nature of the composition right in here, camel text, version number. All right, and my width, so I'm going to have, let's say, will be 10 blocks long. So 10 times 101, that is 1010. And then let's see, 10 to 20, so extra 30, 10, 20, 30. Okay, yeah. So 1030 for my width and the height. Turn this off, and I can, let's just double that. Got nice horizontal screens. 2, 6. All right, square pixels, 3 minutes. Just a second. This may be a student. Let me pick this up real quick. Hey, this is Ben. No, that is not a student. Okay, back at it. All right, so 3 minutes long. You can always adjust this later on if you're having trouble getting the shapes to fall in naturally within 3 minutes. You always can make it shorter or longer. Just keep in mind these other compositions also have their own duration, right? So if you make this longer, you'll have to make the rest of them longer as well so that they show up at the tail end of your project. But for now, I'm going to leave it at 3 minutes. Hit OK. This is my composition. Cool. And then I can import all my blocks. Let's see, so And then I can duplicate them as needed, of course. So with all of them selected, move them up to the top. That's where we want them to begin, but in this instance, probably many of you have found out it's a lot easier to start at the end and work your way backwards. What that means is you pull your time slider all the way to the end, figure out where you want them at, right in here. So fit it right there. Just going to do it by hand. Pull this guy down. I got snapping on, so it is snapping a little bit to my original piece here, which is good. Saves me some time. Awesome. Okay. Let's see, later on we're going to rotate this line piece to snug it on the side here. So let's go underneath here, or I can just hit R, get rotation, time for 90. There we go. Go. Snap into place. A couple more here. There we go. Snap nicely into place. And then our last piece here. See right about there. Line it up a little more. Okay. All right. I'll do it. Okay, and then we'll start in reverse. So this useful hotkey helps keep down on the clutter. I'm gonna hit P so I can just see position right here. Make sure my time slider's in the right place. At the very end. All right, I'm gonna turn on the stopwatch for all these guys, and I'll lay down my first keyframe right on the end here. All right, and so say for now, let's say each one takes about 5 seconds. So I'm going to click on these set of numbers, this time code. That's going to bring my slider exactly to where I want it. So I'm going to delete the frame part, hit enter, and it'll bring my frame, my time slider right exactly to 2 minutes 55 seconds. Right there, I can use the last shape. I can begin to animate the last shape that falls into place. So let's just say that's the square here. So I'm going to go ahead and key in the position for everything else so they stay put. All right, and that's hitting this middle diamond part that adds a keyframe for everything where it's at, right there. All right, move back another 5 seconds. Oh, there we go. All right, and I'm gonna say move this. Say straight up for now. Let's just set a frame there. Play it back. See what I got. All right, awesome. It's just falling right into place over 5 seconds of time. All right, and then now let's say I wanted to do the choppy thing, right? Well, what you can do is you can just move it off to the side here. Excuse me. Go back to our keyframe. To get to that particular keyframe, I can click and drag the time slider, press and hold shift, and it will snap to that precise keyframe and timeline here. So when I change it, I'm just changing that keyframe. It'll automatically update because our stopwatch is on here. All right. So we can do that, right? And it comes in at an angle, but that's not quite like Tetris. Actually, I'm going to move it over a little bit more. Say like the wall here. Let's see if I can get that lined up with the wall. Looks like it's too far to line up with the rest of the shape, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Right there. If you're looking for a particular, if you want to work with numbers and get a particular spot, just keep in mind the width of your blocks, and then you can come down here to position for your block and punch that in. But I'm going to leave it right there. All right. And then what I'm going to do is click on block here and click on this icon. It's the graph editor. All right. And then let's see, it's F work. No, it's not F. Shadow graph sleep view, but you're not showing me what I'm looking for. Because I don't have this selected. Yeah. Okay. All right, what I'm looking for is a curve here on my graph editor. So it should show me a couple of frames. Maybe stretched out long enough. Just a second, guys, while I try to get these keyframes to show up. Oh, for some reason I moved this all the way down. Okay. Okay, for some reason I moved this way out of the way. So it must have been a misclick at some point. All right. There we go. Well, there's my keys. There we go. Okay, I'm hitting fit. All graphs to view. This button way at the bottom here. And then I can see my keyframes. I can see how the values change over time here. And the best way to explain the graph editor is the speed versus value, right? So on the y-axis, we have our value, and then on the x-axis, we have our speed. All right, and then if we want to add acceleration, select our keys. We can go over here and we can start playing with these buttons here. We'll start curving them out and giving them splines, right? So our constant speed is a straight line, which is this button right here. So I turn keys in a straight line, so we'll move constantly over time. And then to get them accelerate, we'll hit this curve, also called easy ease, which should sound pretty familiar. And then we can see how it accelerates. So it starts off slow, which means the value change is a little slower in the beginning. In the middle, it speeds up, and in the end, it flattens out, which means it slows down. So that'll be acceleration. So if I play it here, starts off slow, quick, speeds up, and then slows up as it comes into place. So this linear and then this easy ease, these are called interpolations. Interpolations of keyframes, right? It probably helps to keep that in mind. It's a definitely important keyword, like keyframe and properties, position, etc., etc. So the interpolation we'll mess with for Tetris is the stepped interpolation, or it called keyframes hold. And what that will do is, once it gets into, it stays at pretty much zero speed until it's time to change, and then it will step or snap into place. All right. And so what we want to do is, from here on out, to get the stepping motion, I want to add more keyframes in between. Okay, so the best way to do that is we're going to go back to linear interpolation. All right. Find points where you want the cube to step at. So ideally some point on this diagonal curve where it lines up with the cubes beneath it. Because when you look at a Tetris game, the shapes are always lined up, regardless of where you're sending the shape, right? No point is like halfway over one block or another. So what I can do is line this up a little better. And type in show grid. You can use this a little bit. So I have this line right here, right in between. I'm going to line it up with that line and call that the first step over motion. All right about there. I'm going to add a key. So back to a block, hit my diamond shape in the corner here. All right, awesome. Move further down, look for another place where we could step over. So we got a line up right here. So yeah, this lines up pretty well. Just move it one frame over. Add a key there. All right, and then to make it even more Tetris-like, this would require more keys since Tetris moves over one file at a time. So ideally, we would put a keyframe over each one. It's not required, but it does add to the aesthetics part.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up? Who's this?
Um, I
Oh,
was able
hey.
to hear anything beforehand. So what are we doing now?
Oh, okay. So we're going over movement of the shapes here. I'm gonna save this right real quick. All right, cool. And then, Miles, let's take a look at your progress, man, in Tetris shapes.
All right. See here. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I was trying to make them come down a little slowly and then fall,
Yeah, okay.
like how the game is.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you got them one at a time. All right. Lined up pretty well. Okay.
Not that one.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. And then so yeah, they're lined up pretty well. The L1 is a little off, just a smidge. Um,
Mhm.
but that's
Yeah.
fine. But also we'll need them to come down one at a time though. Just one at a
One at
time.
a time.
Yeah. Yeah, like in Tetris.
Okay. Heard.
All right. But cool, cool. All right, and then we're going to get into rotation in just a moment here. Okay, so let me resume. Cool, awesome. All right, so then let's see. I got it lined up here. I'm going to line it up with that one. Kind of in between, so right about here. Okay, lay down another keyframe. And then this last one is going to be a little different. So I'm going to need to move this one just a bit, but bear with me. So yeah, just a little bit. So right now we got our ideal keyframes in between for the stepping part. All right, so what we want to do here is the movement, the downward movement is pretty constant. That's not stepped. So that would be our y-axis. But we want to do something to the x-axis. So in order to do that, we'll come down here to this button here. It says separate dimensions. We'll go ahead and click that. All right. And it does something funny with interpolation for keyframes. It thinks we want easy ease, but not for this project. I'm going to select both keyframes. I'm going to go back to linear. All right, and then I'm just going to select our X position, because that's where we want the funny choppy movement. So with that, I'm going to select all of our X keyframes and hit step. All right, and then I can scrub through and look how it moves over one frame at a time in an 8-bit fashion. And so, like, in order to keep it from doing that at the last second, we can just take this last keyframe right here and move it over while holding shift. So it doesn't bump into the other shapes there. So scrub through. It falls nicely into place.
Hmm.
And again, like ideally you would do this one file at a time, but you don't need to be so nitpicky. This is due on Thursday. So as long as we have the step motion moving over just like this in keyframes, we'll be good. I'm gonna go over rotation just a second. I just want everybody to take a moment and let's go ahead and let's get that stepped movement on one shape falling in real quick. And just let me know if you have any questions. We'll take about 10 minutes.
Mr. Knox.
Hey, what's up?
I'll share my screen real quick. For some
Okay.
reason, on my graph, it's not giving me the option. Like it's there, but it won't let me click on the interpolation tools. Show you real quick.
Okay. Well, do you have the keyframe selected?
Yeah, I see the keyframes. It just won't actually let me click on the actual interpolation tool.
Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. So, all right,
So you see how in the bottom right here,
they're
it
there.
won't
Okay.
actually.
And then let's select some of the keyframes in the graph editor.
So put this one. Oh,
There
okay.
we go.
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. And then click on it. All right, perfect.
Cool. And keep in mind, like marquee selection. I mean, going through and clicking each one's a little tedious. Everything we're doing is pretty much to every keyframe on one axis or another.
Did you want to select another one? Cause
Just
I
one with the step motion for now.
okay.
Professor Knox.
What's up?
Never mind. I see it now.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Mr. Knox,
What's up?
how do you get it to snap to the green graph?
No, it's just a visual guidance. We're not gonna snap to the graph.
Okay.
Okay, guys, how's it looking?
So I have it looking good when it goes up and down, but side to side for some reason I've been like brain hard on.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So I just need to play with it more, honestly. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm about it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, Billy, questions?
Well, I'm trying to figure this out. Uh, did you do it backwards or something? Because I just made a new block and I just don't know how'd you did it.
Yeah, yeah. It helps to start
Because
off
I can't.
backwards when you're animating them in a precise place. You want them to land into a precise place. In the beginning, it doesn't matter so much. I think in the game it starts in the middle, but um, like let's have them land in a precise place, and then work backwards from that. And then we're going to fill in between with the points where we want to shift over.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll show it to you if I figure it out.
okay, okay. That helps. Um, Miles, you making any progress?
I'm still working on it, but I've managed to get them to come down individually.
Okay, okay. Um, and you understand the step motion about changing the keyframe interpolation from linear to stepped just for the x-axis?
Uh, Not really. Is that more about just angling it?
No, no, it's just changing the interpolation for so once you have your keyframes in where you want to step it at, right? Come
Hmm.
into position, we split them so we can get these two different attributes. So you change it back to linear. Select all the keyframes, hit linear button, interpolation down here, And then we just want to mess.
Under keyframe interpolation.
Yeah, so these buttons down to
Mm-hmm.
here in the graph editor. Okay, and then we just want to go to our x-axis, and then change that to stepped interpolation, and that'll give
Oh, I
us
see. I see.
a choppy downfall here.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
Okay.
That interpolation. Actually, that's not coming up under the. I'm not seeing the graph section.
So it's this
So I
button
get to that.
right here. So
Oh, I see it.
yeah. Okay. All right. What else to check up on? Tornado. How's it going, man?
Well, you know me, I gotta watch it first because I can't try to do it and watch it at the same time.
Did you give it a try?
No, I never do it. I always watch first and then I do it after.
All right. So we're supposed to be giving it a try, right? For the past 10 minutes or so. That's what the silence is all about. So just, I mean, now would be the time to give it a try and then see if you have any questions about it since I'm right here. All right. So like when we work on stuff in class, you have to work on stuff in class. It'll help you out, I promise.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then Miss Massey, how far are you getting here?
Let me see. This is what I have, but I think I messed up a lot. Let me find
All right.
the
Let's take a
share.
look.
Stop it. See, it
Oh,
sucks right now.
yeah. So yeah. You got it. It's just we're working with the x-axis instead of the y-axis. That's why it looks kind of
Exact.
funny. So yeah. So it's doing the stepped motion on the y instead of the x.
So
Or
right
no,
here.
there's keyframes in there. Hold on. Oh, so you did it manually. No. Okay, so let's not do it manually. Let's do it with the a straight diagonal, right?
Okay,
And
so
then
right here.
so hold on. So like let's go ahead and delete those keyframes. All the keyframes in between.
Okay, gotta go back.
So let's see. All right, so let's get the vision up before the keyframes are at. A selector property, which is the position.
Right here.
Okay. All right, and then the motion path isn't showing up. Let's slide the time slider across a little bit. Okay. Oh, you're in the graph editor. Graph editor. Okay. So let's hit our little button down there in the corner. Do you see where um it's called Fit All Graphs to View. It's two buttons to the right of the magnifying glass at the very bottom. So let's go over two.
So down here.
No, right back. You see that magnifying glass?
Oh, right here.
No,
So
where the other one at the very bottom, where you would change the interpolation, the keyframes. Not there in the graph editor.
down here.
Yeah, at the bottom of the graph editor. The graph editor. So that's the layers. So let's move over to the right some more. in that area. All right, you see the magnifying glass?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, all right.
Right
And let's
here?
go 2 buttons over. Yeah, that's it. Just 2 buttons. So there's one hidden, and then that one. No, no, that one. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now we
It,
can see your keyframes. Um, let's see. It's really spaced out for some reason. All right, let's go back. Let's turn off separate dimensions. Okay, that works. All right. Let's hit that fiddle to graph button again. It's just not popping up. All right.
hold on. I don't know why it's so big either.
Yeah, what happened to all the keys? All right, let's exit out of the graph editor. Let's go back to our regular timeline with the bars. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's scrub through. Let's scrub through those time bars right there, real quick, with the time
Right
slider.
here.
Yeah.
Look like there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Let's keep sliding. Yeah, what we're looking for is the keyframes for that one. Yeah.
This one. Different pages I call. I don't see them either. They were there. I
Okay.
just touched them.
So
Let's go back to this.
no. Merge them together. It'll be easier to get a hold of them. Okay. All right. So it looks like the keyframes are gone because your stopwatch is turned off for position. So
I probably have to do it again.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So next time, let's start with the end keyframe. Hit your beginning keyframe, and then add keyframes in between where you want it to switch over. Right. And then
Okay.
we turn the x-axis into the stepped interpolation.
Okay.
Okay. So like all this is being recorded. So yep, still on. All right. So all this is being recorded. So if you need to review, it's on there. If you need to ask me questions, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thank you.
No, glad to help. Um, anybody else have any questions so far? Again, this is due on Thursday, 4:59
Oh,
p.m.
I'm having a problem with my software. I try to press spacebar so I can see what's going on, but it won't. It just doesn't, move. I can use
Yeah,
the other one. I
yeah,
forgot what it's called.
it might be very spaced out or whatnot. So that's just timing and everything. We're going to work on timing. That's its own subject later on. So for now, just if scrubbing works, let's just stick to that. Scrubbing the time slider back and forth. Does that work for you?
Okay. Yeah, it works. It just the spacebar doesn't work anymore. Apparently, I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah. So it might be a timing issue, playback issue, or loading issue, which is a technical issue. But yeah, if sliding works, that'll be great. Um, okay, then real quick, guys, before we break, rotation. So rotation is the same um as the movement for position, except we do it for rotation instead. So what I'm gonna do here is I have my line. It is falling into place, right? So hit this guy and tap P to close that. Hit R. My rotation there. Okay, and then let's see. slide out of that. Can I find it? I can't really find the key, so I'm gonna open up both rotation and position. Nope. All right, old school. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna have it rotate every time it snaps over. Well, a couple of times it snaps over. All right, so in the beginning, I'm gonna go ahead and key in my rotation. So that stays as is. So I hit the time watch. Excuse me, the stopwatch. Start that. And say right about here, it makes a rotation. So I'm go ahead and punch in, say 0. Goes flat. And since this will be stepped, it doesn't really matter which way it rotates. Let's see. Let's say right about here, it writes itself up, back up. So rotation, hit 90 degrees again. It adds me another key right here. All right, and so it's doing a linear interpolation, so it's doing a smooth rotation. That's not what we want. So in order to change that, go into my graph editor, right? Select rotation for my line block. If I click it down here, it automatically selects all the keys that it has. Hit my step button, step interpolation down here, and then it snaps, just like it does in the game. Okay, and that's it. That's it. So once you have a grasp of the switching from one file to another, the rotation is pretty easy. Okay. All right, guys. So any last questions before we break here? Comments,
No.
concerns? Okay. All right, guys. So the assignment is going to be popping up sometime between now and tomorrow at noon. Just keep an eye out. So what we're looking for is 40 shapes that fall into place. All right. There's an extra credit for scene, adding, some sort of border, some sort of background or whatnot. Anything that's been done in Tetris before. There's extra credit for that. There's extra credit for what was it? Oh yeah, getting the lines to disappear, right? And that's was really complicated. It has to do with opacity and animating everything to fall down. But if you can pull that off, that's also extra credit. And let's see, so environment, lines, and acceleration can also be extra credit as well. If you can get the shapes to speed up, either over time as more and more shapes come in, like the game where the shapes get faster, or like when you get into a certain spot, you can hit the down button and slide into place really quick. Get that to happen, that's also extra credit. And then let's see, I believe that's everything. And make sure to check out the rubric. Everything's on the rubric. Make sure you have everything down packed, details oriented. And one of the big things a lot of people are missing is naming conventions. So we don't want any default names in here. We want our naming conventions, last name, YouTube videos. They're going to be posted. And let me know if you need any additional help.
40 shapes, right?
Oh,
Or
40
14?
shapes. 40.
40 shapes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
So
shapes.
we have,
It's
do you want us to
duplicating.
read?
This after a while, it's just duplication. You can even duplicate the keyframes if you want to go that far. But after about
Do
10
you
or
want?
12 of them, they become pretty routine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you
all
want
right.
us to do it in um, a different folder? I mean, not different project because the one we did something different, or
Same
continue the
one's
one we
fine.
have.
Same one's fine. Just make sure you have the names correct. Also shapes. We are looking for shapes here. So anybody's working with pictures, make sure we go through and get the shapes back in. But yeah, same project is fine. It'll just be the AEP file, since everything that we've made here is made in After Effects, so we don't need any references. Um, yeah, yeah. Any more questions?
No.
No.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, I'll see you on Thursday, and just let me know. Let me know if anything pops up.
Okay.
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 All right. See you guys.
Well.
All right. Bye bye.